Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us. The man we have on with us is probably no stranger to you guys, the one and only Ryan McCaffrey from IGN Podcast Unlocked. Mr. McCaffrey, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we're really excited to have you on the show. Our community, we just want to get to know you better. I mean, you're the face of the largest Xbox podcast on the internet of IGN. Everyone knows IGN, right? So maybe why don't you tell us our audience a little bit about where you came from, why you're gaming. I know a lot probably already know, but for those that might not yet, could you introduce yourself a little bit to them?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been playing games since I was, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there with the original Nintendo. I was born in 1980, so the Nintendo was right in sort of the sweet spot for me, and that was it. Super Mario Brothers was all it took, and then I've been a gamer for life, and I always had a penchant and a talent for writing, so somewhere around maybe high school, I kind of put two and two together and thought, you know what, I'm going to see if I can make some sort of career out of this, and went to journalism school with the explicit idea of trying to get into, combine video games and writing somehow. When I graduated, I applied at every game. I just sent my resume to every game magazine, of which at the time there were many back in 2002, and website I could find, and official Xbox magazine took the bait and I got a bite on the line, and once I got started talking to them, it managed to get myself an interview and got hired, and the rest is, fortunately for me, been history.
Yeah, wow, what was that like, getting a reply back from Xbox magazine on your first try?
Well, wasn't. I'd certainly I'd had plenty of lack of replies from other places, but it felt real good when you're like, when they write back and go, oh, okay, why don't you send us some writing samples? I'm like, okay, I can do that. And that's the key, is if you get an opportunity, then you got to seize it.
That's a great point. So gaming is a big part of your life, and we have this discussion on our podcast all the time. How do you balance gaming and life in your own personal life?
I really don't anymore, because when I've got a 4-year-old at home, so she's the priority. So there can't be a balance per se. It's more game. I game when I can, which for me, I'm really, really lucky that I work in a video game centric job. So if I ever, the big misconception, I almost never play games at work. I'm usually busy with a million different projects, but on the rare occasion, I do actually have a TV on my desk and a console. And so on the rare occasion, I can actually fire up a game here at my desk and not get fired. And actually, I get encouraged. It's like, oh, good job, you're playing that. So most jobs, if you turned on a TV at work and started playing a video game, they'd be like, get out of here, you're fired.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what are things like, you mentioned that you have the TV and the gaming on the desk and everything. You have a job that I envy, and I respect you a lot, especially after watching episode 201. By the way, I
appreciate that.
That interview was phenomenal, and hopefully, people that are listening to this show that have not seen that or heard that podcast, is it's one of the greats, and I have to thank you for that, because having those three gentlemen on there share those experiences, and you doing such a good job. I mean, your knowledge was on point, and you allowed something that we're going to have for a very long time. Like the history, laying that out. I really, really thank you for that. It's just a joy to see stuff like that. Anyways, back to my question. I kind of got sidetracked there, but. With what you do, what do you like most about your profession, about what you've chosen to do?
I just like that, I like that I am involved in a field that I'm interested in, I really truly get to go to work every day and be happy about it and enjoy it and be like, oh, what interesting thing is going to happen today, and not just be like, oh God, is it Friday yet? I can't wait to get out of this, crap hole of a 9-to-5 existence. I really do have a great time every day. I mean, there's lots of stress. Don't get me wrong, and there are deadlines, and it gets tough and frustrating at times. It's not like a toy factory 24/7. It's not quite Willy Wonka around here, but I'm just lucky that I get to do something that I'm passionate about, and there's really no price you can put on that.
Yeah, well, what are some of the challenges then you face? I know you everyone sees glamour when we see you, and when we see the video games for your profession kind of thing. What are some of the challenges, the greatest challenges you face in what you do?
Well, for me, I run a program that's been going for a little over a year on IGN called IGN First, where it's sort of a digital cover story, as it were, for the month. We announced Forza Horizon 2 through there. We announced XCOM 2 recently. We're doing Scalebound right now on the Xbox side. We did Master Chief Collection, where it's this sort of months worth of in-depth features on things, and it's really rewarding when it happens, but trying to actually book those, it can be really stressful. Like, oh God, the month starts in like 3 weeks. I got to figure something out here, because I can't just snap my fingers and go, we're going to do Halo 5 this month. Okay. It's like, no, you got to get in touch with Microsoft or whoever the publisher is and lay out your pitch and see if they might think, that's not the best thing for my game, or I'm already doing a big exclusive with somebody else. So, it's trying to make the best content on IGN that I can is not always an easy thing, but it's a fun challenge.
Well, you mentioned rewards. Is that what you would consider like the greatest reward, or do you have any other ideas as far as, because challenge reward? What is the greatest reward you get out of that?
In the case of IGN First, and knowing that, oh man, I got something cool for our audience. In the case of, let's see, what's a good example? Revealing XCOM 2 in June. It's like we got to present that game to the world on IGN, and with Scalebound, we got to sort of show everybody what that game really was at the beginning of August. So when you kind of reel in that big fish, where people are going to love this. This is going to be something that people really enjoy watching or reading or both. That's where it's really nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks. We had our audience submit some questions they had for you. Jordan has those.
Yeah. So
right.
First one, his name's Ben Hatch. He wants to know: do you feel that people are being overly critical of next-gen consoles and games?
Well, that's a fairly general question. I would say in some cases yes, and in some cases no. I think I think people are overly critical in general in video games. Video games are a hobby, and some people that are prevalent on social media or message boards or various websites, it seems like that all they want to do is complain about video games. They don't actually want to play them or enjoy them, and I don't. Yeah. That's something I don't understand. Find another hobby. If all you want to do is complain about this one, find another hobby. But at the same time, there's plenty of stuff that is worthy of criticism. I've been very outspoken on Podcast Unlocked about, I'm really sick of all these remasters that we've been getting for the first 2 years of this generation. Yes, some of them are, everybody's got one where they're like, oh, that's great, I totally want to play that again, or maybe I never got to play that. But in general, I just wish at this time of the generation, last with the 360, we had so many great new original IPs and new ideas. Mm-hmm. And, I feel like a lot of the first 2 years of this generation has been spent rehashing the last one. And that disappoints me as a gamer. It's like, let's see what these machines can do. Let's see what game designers can do with that new power. And I think now I think the remasters are finally trickling away here. Yeah. We're on the last sort of gasp of those. And again, I get it from a business perspective. Games are expensive, and remasters are sort of a quick buck for the publishers to help, keep the money coming in while they fund the next thing. But as a gamer, it's just, to me, been frustrating as hell to be this far into the generation and still not have. I honestly, and I don't mean this to sound like I'm chugging haterade, but I don't think there is a huge reason to have either console yet. I think there will be this fall.
Yes.
But up till now, Titanfall's great, and Ori and the Blind Forest has been awesome, and Sony had Bloodborne. But I don't think there's necessarily been a single convincing argument, or even if you take the library as a whole, because I kind of think killer apps are dead. Or even just take the entire library of PS4 or the entire library of Xbox One. Like, do you really need this console yet?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but that's that's going to change in like a month.
No, that's true.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great perspective.
Yeah, it is. Another question, Joel Van Egbert. He wants to know: have you ever played a game that you thought would be awful but turned out to be incredible, and vice versa?
Oh, well, there's definitely been plenty of games I was psyched for that ended up being super disappointing.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I know that feeling.
I mean, the first game I reviewed for IGN, which I took on willingly, it was not a hazing situation, was Steel Battalion Heavy Armor, the Kinect controller hybrid game when Capcom tried to bring Steel Battalion back. Like, on paper, I loved the idea of that game. Like, because if you guys remember, when Kinect was first announced, we were promised, there are going to be games that use both the Kinect and the controller, and then we never got any of those until Steel Battalion. Yeah. And so I thought, great, you can sort of drive your vertical tank with the controller, and you can do all these other little things with the Kinect, but the game just did not work, and it was absolutely terrible. So I still think that's the lowest score I've given on IGN. But and then going the other way, as far as games that people sort of were not looked favorably upon or not anticipated that I ended up really liking, for me, Rise falls into that category where everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, Rise isn't that good. Actually, I recognize Rise's flaws absolutely, but I ended up having a great time with that game because the character was fantastic and the story was really good. And of course, the visuals were fantastic and the combat was fun, but just repetitive. But I think that game is it's flawed, but I also really like it.
Yeah. No, we all
we
really
do
liked
too.
Rise as well. The story is really good, especially at the end. When you fall off, or he falls off and kills himself. It's great.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. I do that a lot. Sorry.
Who is he? Right?
Yeah, who is he?
Yeah, you'll have to figure that one out by playing.
So, Ryan, what is your favorite video game character? Of all time. Character
of all time.
Good guy, bad guy, does not matter.
Yeah, no rules for this question.
Good question. Character. I mean, maybe Guybrush Threepwood. He would be near the top of the list of Monkey Island fame.
Okay. Monkey Island. Wow.
Guybrush is so well written, and particularly in the later Monkey Island games, and then the special edition remakes that LucasArts did last generation. The gentleman, the guy Dominic Armato that voiced him, did such a great job. So yeah, I mean, Guybrush Threepwood's a great character. I don't know, Master Chief has gotten more interesting over the years, because he's gone from saying next to nothing to actually sort of having a personality now. But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess to be different, Guybrush was the first one that came to mind when you said gaming character, so I'm going to go with that.
All right, cool.
And Monkey Island, that's a fun game. I remember playing that way back when.
Just play the first three. Don't play Escape from Monkey Island.
Okay, fair enough. Okay,
that's the black sheep of the Monkey Island.
All right, so here's a question. We're probably going to start firing off some quicker questions, I guess, because I have a huge list, and I know we have a limited time, so I'm just going to go for these.
All right, Wolf Blitzer.
All right. What video game are you playing right now? What's your go-to video game when you get a sec, when you get a chance, without work, without family? Just what do you play?
I mean, of course, I'm always just trying to stay as caught up as I can. Right now, I'm playing Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, which I adore on PlayStation 4. It's a fantastic game. Uh-huh. I said this on Twitter. I actually think it doesn't have the best raw graphics, of this generation, but I actually think it's the prettiest game so far this generation of things that are out, because if we're counting things that aren't out, Cuphead is the answer, but to the prettiest game. But but yeah, like everybody's gone to the Rapture. The you really feel like you're in this 80s British village, and it's a stunning, gorgeous game, and the story's gotten really interesting. I'm halfway through it. I was just out of town over the weekend, so I had to stop, and I'm going to finish it over the next couple nights. But yeah, really, really enjoying Everybody's Gone to the Rapture right now.
Cool, very cool.
Cool. Want me to keep going? I can keep going.
Yeah,
I can keep going. I'm going to keep going then. Here's you feel free to not answer this question, or feel free to go any direction you want. But I have my favorites. I know Jordan has his favorites and David has his. Who is your favorite game developer?
That's a tough question because what, let's say take id Software isn't the same id Software as it was 20 years ago. It's entirely new people. They become almost just names.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, who would I say there? That's good. That's a good question.
It's a tough question.
I'll give you mine. Mine is Blizzard. Simply because
hard to argue with Blizzard.
The variety of games,
going.
and they're all excellent, very polished, whatever they come out with.
Yeah,
so that's mine.
I would. Blizzard and Valve are two interesting cases where I would have agreed with you 10 years ago, but they're now, both Blizzard and Valve are no longer making games that I personally am really interested in playing, like Hearthstone, and I never really got into World of Warcraft only because I knew it would completely destroy my life. Like, I know I would love that game. It's a really weird reason to not play a game, but yeah, like the Hearthstones and Overwatches, like these sort of service-based things that Blizzard is making, and Valve's doing the same thing. Like, those are two companies that they're the god tier of really all of gaming, I think. But they're just they're moving. They have to stick with the times, and I find that as I get older and as I have less free time, I like my video games to be just almost like good books, just escapist, solitary fantasies that I don't need to connect to Xbox Live for, that I don't have to play with 6 other people. Mm-hmm. Just I appreciate a good story, however it's told, whether it's like a Halo or a Everybody's Gone to the Rapture where there's no combat, or a Broken Age where it's a point and click adventure game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm still, I guess I'm officially getting old because I don't even understand MOBAs. It's like it's a whole different language, and young gamers today, all their games are connected and they're social, and that's how they want to play. And it's not that I hate that. It's just not my preference. So that's how I'm going to turn your question on its head. Is
Fair enough.
On that tangent.
Fair enough.
Well, there is something to be said. For instance, when I played The Witcher, jumping in and being all by myself, that was. It was, like you said, it's a nice escape, right?
Yeah.
So
Fallout 4, I will lose myself in.
Yeah, agreed. So another question from our audience is the Joe Engelkins. He wants to know what fuels your passion for playing and writing about games.
What fuels it?
Fuels, What's your inspiration?
What's your inspiration for playing and writing games, and
what drives you?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Is that does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I guess it's just because I latched onto video games as a kid, and it's still something that brings me a lot of joy when I get to, talk about games or write about games or play games. So it's just that sort of, just that childhood delight that was, that the Nintendo gave birth to, and that the, various consoles and PCs over the years have continued to nurture for me.
Yeah. So, because you like them, basically, right?
Yeah.
Easy enough. Yeah, fair enough.
All right, just a couple more fan questions real quick. This is from Stuart Burson. He wants to know, how frustrating is it to write a story and then have the comment section of the website turn into like a fanboy war between the consoles and the PC? And
is it frustrating, or do you feel it's frustrating?
Do you just ignore it altogether?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
It is frustrating. It absolutely is, because again, it goes back to, I just don't understand why there are some people out there who seem to, their enjoyment of video games comes from complaining about them or arguing about them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got two plastic boxes that are virtually the same inside. They have different names on the front, and occasionally different people make unique, make exclusive games for them. But they're largely the same. And like, why does the fact that I bought one of them, that doesn't invalidate what's good about the other one? So
yeah, no, absolutely.
I just don't. I guess I just try to be. Think more positively about it, and then it's, I own a PS4 and an Xbox One, and I just put together a couple months ago a long overdue new computer. I don't have a Wii U yet. Nintendo, they have not given me a reason to spend $250 or whatever it's priced at these days to buy one. But I own most of the major new current platforms, and I go where the good stuff is. I mean, I get where if you can only afford one, you make your choice and you want to feel good about that choice. But I just don't see the value or enjoyment that anyone would get out of having to justify that purchase decision by tearing down someone else's purchasing decision.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
So you've been in the industry a long time. Do you think, I mean, is this the worst fanboy wars are, or is it always there steadily, or is it better than it used to be? What's your experience with that?
It's as social media has become more and more ingrained in society and more commonplace, it's absolutely made the discourse worse. There's no doubt about that.
Huh.
The thing that I always remind myself is the people that do make negative or silly or trolling comments on Twitter or social media or IGN or wherever it is, they represent like 1% of 1% of the audience. And if I write an article on IGN, or if I tweet something or whatever it is, or do a podcast, the 99% of people, they either like it and they enjoyed it and they don't leave a comment and they just move on with their day, or they don't like it and they just move on with their day and don't leave a comment about it. It's that the vocal minority is just that, a minority, and they're not representative of the greater audience. I mean, we have reams of data at IGN that bear that out, and the secret is to not, you do listen to those people because they do occasionally have valid comments. They might point out something that is very valid criticism or of what I'm doing, but by and large, you don't program for them. When you start programming for that 1% of 1%, you're going to alienate the other 99%, and you're going to be out of business. That's my personal opinion. That's not representative of IGN as a whole, but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. So it looks like we have about 6 minutes left with you, and so we just want to, in closing, you did start a T-shirt company, a T-shirt website, T-shirt company, nerdstyles.com. Why don't you talk about that a little bit with our audience? I actually ordered my first T-shirt from your site today. I plan on wearing it to the gym. I love the Coexist play. I did the two controllers, the PlayStation and Xbox controller there. So
awesome! Thank you for that.
Which, as an editorial, I think I put the wrong town. I misspelt it. It says Set Nerville. It's supposed to be Centerville. So if you see that when it ships out, if you could change it, that'd be great.
Go ahead and fix that for him.
I think as long as the zip code's right.
Okay, good. I was like, oh shoot, I could go back and edit it. But there you go.
But yeah, that Nerd Styles is just about. I'm lucky enough that I get a lot of game T-shirts that game companies send us, and a lot of them are sort of just like, they look like NASCAR cars where they're just branded and logos and all kinds of crazy stuff. And so, there are lots of video game or geek inspired shirts that I know I would like I basically just made ones I'd like to wear myself, and that's really all it comes from. Is just like, oh, what like cool video game or geek inspired shirts would I want to wear? And so I just kind of did the research into, what would it actually take to start a little like web storefront thing, and you put in the legwork on that, and then put it out there and hope that people like it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I saw pictures of the T-shirts and I thought, where are people getting these? And then I realized, oh, here it is. Oh, it's Ryan McCaffrey. Wow, cool. So no, I think it's great. In closing, we just wanted to do a quick rapid fire segment with you. If it's okay. We have like 5 questions. First thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. Ready? Batman or Superman?
Can't wait. Mark Scott can't wait. Gift. Can't wait.
Favorite dessert?
What is it these days? The go-to thing. I actually have a dairy allergy, so it's like I can't eat ice cream.
Oh.
Wait, what's like go-to dairy would probably be. There's this bakery not far from IGN that makes these vegan cookie sandwiches where there's like a coconut cream in the middle, and then the cookies are made without any milk or butter, and they're incredible. So,
very nice. Okay, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
The old like flight or invisibility question, huh? I would probably go with. I think flight would be pretty awesome.
Flight, yeah. Flight would be cool. And last but not least, Halo or Gears?
Halo.
Oh,
love Gears, nice. But yeah, Halo's always had a very special place in my heart.
as it has with us.
Yes.
So. Yeah. Very nice. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on with us, Ryan. We really appreciate it. Any last words you have for anyone in our audience?
Just if I'm very lucky to get to do something I love to do. If you want to do what you love doing, the piece of advice I would give, because people ask me all the time, is go do it. You can't sit around and wait for it to just like magically happen. If you want to write about games or be a games critic, like start a YouTube channel, start a blog, and just start writing or making videos, and then you can kind of hone your voice and hone your craft, and then when the time comes where like a paying gig at an IGN or a GameSpot or a Polygon or whomever comes up, you can apply and point to your thing and say, yeah, I've just, nobody sees this, but I've been doing it. See, here's what I've been actually practicing the craft and trying to get better at it. So just go do it.
Awesome. Great closing thoughts. Ryan McCaffrey, everyone, IGN.